So can you hear me now?
Mhm.
Okay. Right now,
Yes.
I want to talk about ratio. Ratio. Um, we can talk about what ratio mean. We can use ratio to compare the size of different parts of a whole. We can use ratio to compare sizes. Okay.
Okay.
For example, in a class of 30 students, if there are 10 girls and 20 boys, we can say the ratio of boys to girl is 10 to 20, or we can say 1 to 2, because twice the number of boys are the girls. So for every one girl, there are two boys in the class. So uses of ratio, we can see ratio written on maps to show how the scale of the map, you know, is. It's telling us the maybe the scale of the map, or we can also use ratio to show currency exchange rate if we want to, make payments or something. So ratio is like a topic on its own, but it can also appear within other topics. Exactly.
Yes.
So an example might be uh, the area of two shapes being in a given ratios, or the angles of a shape being in a given ratio. So we're going to look at some questions, some examples that we can. But we'll also talk about proportion. So we can mention ratio and proportion, or proportion and ratio, how they are related. Ratio often appears alongside with proportion, and the two topics are related. So wherein ratio compares sizes of different parts of a whole, proportion compares the size of one part with the whole. So if we're given the ratio, we can find proportion. Or if we're given the proportion, we can find ratio. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
So if we have example, let's say we have um, a box containing seven counters. Okay. Let's say we have a box containing how many counters? Seven. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe out of the seven counters, the let's say maybe example. Let me write that down. So if we have a box that consists of seven counters, so maybe out of seven counters, we have three red and four blue counters. So if I need red, you can say one, two, and three. These are three red counters. Then four blue. So to get four blue counters, you can have, okay, this is still red. So I need four for blue. So I can have one, two, three, and four. So these are the blue counters, and the red counters too. They are red. So the total we have seven. So the ratio of the red counters to blue counters will be 3:4. Exactly.
Yes.
So we can say the ratio of red counters to to blue counters will be what? 3:4. So for every three red counters, there are four blue counters. For every three red counters, there are four. So if there will be another three, then there'll be another 4 blue. Okay.
Okay.
So that means if the red counters become 6, then the blue counters must become 8. Because for every 3, there is a 4. So for the first 3, a 4. For the next 3, another 4. Exactly.
Yes.
So now we can talk about proportion. The proportion of the red counters in the total is going to be, uh, because there are 3, so this is going to be 3 to 7. That is 3 over 7. Exactly.
Yes.
And the proportion of the blue counters in this particular scenario is still going to be, it's going to be 4 over 7 as well. Such that if we have the two proportions together, we get a whole. We get a whole. So this is 4 over 7. So 3 out of every counters are red, and 4 out of every 7, I mean, 3 out of every 7 counters are red, and 4 out of every 7 counters are blue in that ratio. Exactly.
Yes.
So this is just, introduction to ratio. So we're going to look at some questions, but I will allow you to put these notes down, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So put it down. In Lucy's class, there are 12 boys and 18 girls. What is the ratio of girls to boys in the simplest form? So the solution to this will be the number of girls versus the number of boys. That is 18 to 12 because there are 18 girls. So with this, we look for a number that can divide both of them, which is 6. 6 in 18 gives us 3, and 6 in 12 gives us 2. So when you count 3 girls, you're going to count 2 boys, okay? So this is the answer. And the second question,
Okay.
Gertie has 2 grandchildren, Jasmine aged 2 and Oli aged 4. So Gertie divides 30 pounds between them in the ratio of their ages. How much how much do they each get? So if it's in the ratio of their ages, we have ages 2 to 4. So one person, which is the Jasmine, is 2 years, and Holly is 4 years. So what Jackson 2 years is gonna get will be 2 out of the addition of their ages, which is 6, times the total amount of money being shared. And what Holly is gonna get is the age of Holly, the total ages, times, oh, that should be 30, not 20, so times 30, is this 30? Is this 30?
Yes.
So then we can say 6 year 1, 6 year 5. 5 times 2 gives us 10 pounds for Jasmine. And 6 year 1, 65. And 5 times 4 gives us 20 pounds for Holly. And to the last question before we round up the class for today, we have the ratio of men to women working in a company as 3 ratio 5. 3 ratio 5 men, to women, working. So, what proportion of the employees are women? So, the proportion of the employees who are women would be the number of women over total employees, which is 5 over 8. So the proportion is 5 over 8. Is that understood?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to put down these solutions. Then I'll give you assignment. That comes to the end of your class for today.